All right.
So is this when we tell your mom hi?
Yeah. Hi, Mom. Hello, everybody. Welcome, who's ever on.
Good evening. I'm Amy White with Coldwell Banker here in Tri-Cities. Been a real estate agent here with this office. Started in 2004, so I've been here. This is starting my 13th year.
And I'm Tavia Salvadolina, and I'm right behind Amy. Started in 2005 here at Coldwell Banker, and so I guess it'd be about 12 years in. So we're here today to talk, answer any questions you may have regarding. We're going to talk a little bit about new construction as kind of our topic today. However, if there's some specific question that anybody has, we would like you to jump in and ask in the comments below, and let us know. Please feel free to interject anything, and we apologize if we are a little bit green. This is our first time, so bear with us here. But both Amy and I have a lot of experience in new construction, basically since we both started, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've both been with a couple different builders, so we're not green in that area. And so we thought it would be a good opportunity to kind of go over that with anybody that has questions, because new construction is very predominant in this area, and Tri-Cities is booming every single day. So I think that's a very important thing to discuss with people moving in and out of the Tri-Cities. So with that being said, I guess we have some questions that we came up with that we will start to answer, but if there's anybody that has anything so far, we'll answer that as well.
So kind of first question, Tavia. Commonly buyers coming into this market, when they're out looking at homes with their agent may refer to new construction as like spec homes, pre-sales,
Right.
customs, model homes. Can you kind of give a little background on what each of those might be and how that
Sure.
may vary for what a buyer is looking for?
Sure. So there's a lot of terminology, if you will, like Amy was saying, that you'll come across when you're looking for to build a new home. The first term we hear a lot is a spec home, and that is a home that a builder has built himself. He's purchased the land, he's put everything into the house already. Typically it's finished out all the way, front yard, backyard, landscaping, fencing, and everything. And then he usually goes to us as an agent, and he or she, excuse me, and will ask us to list the property, and then it becomes available to you as the consumer. A model home is much like a spec home, and then it's all finished out and everything. Typically, a builder has a model home to showcase his work and what is in the product. A lot of times they have a showroom, so you can see the different amenities that they put in the house and the product. So a model home is usually not for sale. Some are, so you just have to check with the builder. And they vary from, and some subdivisions have them, some do not. So it varies. And what was the other one we were going to talk about?
And then also as far as like pre-sale home.
Oh, a pre-sold home. So a pre-sold home is, say Amy and I are sitting at a model home representing a builder. You come in and you see the plat map of certain lots, and you pick out a lot that the builder has already purchased. So you don't have to purchase the lot. Then you can purchase, pick a plan and put that home on that lot. Then that becomes what is known as a pre-sale. And that becomes your home in approximately 4 to 5 months when the home is finished. Obviously, if the home is already started, it would be sooner. So, and then the last one is a custom home. A custom home is typically when people have their own lot, or they already own their own lot, and they go and select a builder that they would like to build on that lot. And that is a whole different avenue for financing, which we can tap into a little bit later. So I think that answers.
Hi to Glenn, Ramon, and Marlene.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. So, and kind of speak a little bit more on what Tavia is saying as far as spec homes go. There are builders that have agents that they have long-term relationships with, and the agents may have several spec homes at different levels of construction. On occasion, there's the ability for a buyer to come in during the framing stage, and they can still have some options to pick selections or finish out the home to what they're wanting. The benefit to the buyer is they're not having to go through the entire construction process, but they still get to personalize the home to what their taste may be. So it might be a benefit to a buyer because they don't have to go through the entire construction process. And then, like with a pre-sale home, there is a longer time frame for the buyer from the point of picking the plan, waiting for permits to come in, and then going through the construction process completely.
So Amy, I have a question for you. So you and I both have been in the business 12, 13 years. So we see a lot of people come through our model homes, right? So, so as a buyer, how do you, it gets so confusing, I know, for, you know, people coming in, you're like, well, who do I pick, you know, for an agent, or how do I select it? It gets very overwhelming just when you're out touring model homes, and we get it. So, and we in the industry, we're very respectful of who comes in. We like to ask questions, but for you as a consumer and someone looking to build, like, how do you choose? Like, what do you do? And should I choose the person that's working in the model home? Should I choose an outside agent? So what do you think? What's your opinion?
So, great question. Most times when you're a buyer and you're coming into the market, you either know a builder that you're familiar with, or you may not be familiar with the builder, so you're out looking at model homes. And usually the agents that are sitting site are the ones that have a little bit more knowledge about that builder specifically. So like we see, sometimes they'll connect with that agent, and once they start building rapport with the agent, they may decide to go ahead and use them. Sometimes they come into model homes, they've already previously been working with an agent, and as an agent that represents a builder, I really encourage them to maintain that relationship, and that we get that agent involved and included in conversations, communications, so that they're part of the entire process as well.
Absolutely.
They may come to the model home and not really know what they're doing, and then they go search out 5, 6, 7 model homes, and then all of a sudden they go see a resale house, they connect with an agent there at the resale house, and then decide, you know what, I've looked at all these model homes, I'm really leaning towards new construction. Absolutely, bring that agent back over, let's look at that model home again, and see what we can do to help that agent become knowledgeable in the product and hopefully put together a new construction deal.
Yes, absolutely. Now another question that a lot of people ask me always is, well, what about what lender should I use? You know, good question as well. You know, there's so many great, fantastic lenders in our area. We typically like to recommend a local lender if possible, but there's also for builders, sometimes they select their own builder that they like to choose, and they offer incentives if you use their lender. So that's an important question to ask too when you're going into the model home. Ask if there's any builder incentives of using their lender, and you know, you can always shop around too and compare. That's always a good idea. But I think it's very important because everybody wants to know how much they're going to pay for the house, how much they're going to pay in loan fees and just lender fees in general, and how much it's going to cost them to buy a house. So that's very, very important.
And kind of to touch on what Tavia had said as far as a preferred lender that a builder may have, I definitely know from my own experience that that preferred lender knows the builder's construction process. They know how to get in contact with the listing agent. They can help smooth through the process if there's hiccups as far as the appraisal may be concerned.
Right.
So it's really beneficial for everybody if the buyer decides to go with the preferred lender, because not only are there potential benefits or incentives that are offered to the buyer by going through that preferred lender, but there's also extra help for us agents to smooth through that transaction and get it to the closing table, which is the goal for everybody.
Yeah,
so
close on time.
Yes.
So do we have any questions so far? Anything?
Yep,
Anybody?
just a couple comments. You guys are doing great.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So what would you say the best time to start the process if you're going to do new construction?
All right. So new construction typically for a builder who is what we call like a production builder, not a custom builder, it usually takes 4 to 5 months. Please check with any builder on their build time. Don't quote me on that. But so right now we're in the holidays and everybody's thinking the new year. So typically right now is a great time to start thinking about if you're going to build, because because it's spring when you have a nice home built. And you have to think about too, when you are building a home too, when they pour the cement, we don't, they have to cure the concrete and all that good stuff. So if you start now, going through permit process takes about a month or so, and then once you get groundbreaking and everything rolling, you're probably going to be looking, about March or so when the house starts coming up out of the ground, and then probably finish probably about April and May, I guess, somewhere in there. Yeah. And it always depends on how snowy we get, around here, how cold it gets in winter. So that does affect build time too. It does affect our market a little bit, just a little bit. But and hopefully we don't get a lot of snow the next couple of days, because it affects us realtors, and we don't like to go out and drive in it either.
And kind of to touch on that one a little bit, I did a walkthrough this morning, and we actually have a little bit of delay on that closing because, but could be a delay, but fortunately we got a hold of the appraiser today and the lender, and they're going to allow for us to still continue to close. But it could have been a hiccup because we have part of the sod down, and we couldn't finish getting the sod installed because the sod company that they purchased it from can't get it cut right now. So we're going to look at first part of this coming week, hopefully if the weather holds out, that we can finish getting the landscape installed. So that's kind of one of the things that you'll experience that may cause a delay in the process that we don't really anticipate, and then try and work through whatever those hoops look like to still.
Yeah, weather does play a part, definitely, in the wintertime in building. I've seen it many times where they've had the blankets over the, the foundation and keep it warm and everything. So, yeah, definitely. So, I guess, so best time to start the process would be now to start talking, get with your realtor, and start looking at those model homes, and get a list of builders that are reputable in the area that you would like to even talk to, and get something started the first of the year so that you could have a spring home. So I think now is great time to start thinking about building. So
a little bit of a question off of what you just said as far as a reputable builder. How would you go about finding a builder?
Oh gosh. So she's good question. So we have amazing realtors. Yes, we have realtors here, but we have amazing builders in the area. And it all depends. Well, let me back up. So to find a reputable builder, definitely I would talk to your preferred agent, who they would recommend. And different agents represent different builders, so they might be a little biased on who they recommend. But in a nutshell, there are different builders on different levels, in a sense of you have the higher end homes, the luxury homes, and then you have the kind of the starter homes. And a Hayden home used to be more of a starter home, and now they're coming up. So to find one, I would definitely just talk to any local real estate broker. They're going to know the market. They should know the market. And also here at Coldwell Banker, we have a lot of builders that we work with. We have a great book and a great packet that we can put together for you, so you can go around again and tour some homes and see what fits your needs and what your style too, because everybody's a little different as well. So so let's see what else. Oh, and just speaking of, I'll just throw this out too. Interest rates today, in case anybody was wanting to know, they have crept up a little bit too. So again, if you're thinking the new year, 30-year fixed, 4.125 conventional. So they are over that 4-point mark. New construction for a 30-year fixed was 4.5%. FHA was still under the 4 mark, 3.75% today. So all still really good rates, but definitely want to keep an eye on those if you are thinking about building in the next year, and then get a rate locked in too as soon as you can, because you never know what's going to happen. So any other questions we have? No? Okay.
No.
All right. What else can we say? Let's see. What else?
So, let's see. What are some contingencies that you might recommend for a buyer to put into an offer?
Oh, yeah, that's a good.
Like maybe say an inspection contingency?
Yeah, definitely. So, let's see. Okay, yeah, contingency. Yeah, what's a contingency? So a contingency is something that is, how would you even say that? I guess to say it's you would have to get that done first, I guess. Get that done first as a contingency. So a lot of times when you build a home, you can do an inspection on the house if you choose. The city inspects the house. You're not held accountable to do the inspection because they did that, but it's an option, I guess is what I'm saying. It's totally an option if they want to or not do an inspection. I always encourage it because that's someone working for you. It's not the city, it's not the builder saying, oh yeah, the house is great. So I think an inspection is great no matter if you build, if it's resale, whatever. It just helps you out. And tapping onto that, some builders give warranties.
Right.
So I'll have Amy talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So builders are not required to give a warranty on their home. If you're looking at new construction, I would definitely recommend talking with either the new construction agent or ask your agent if there is a warranty that's provided with the home. Some builders have just a standard 1-year warranty that they provide. You do want to make sure that you see what it is and get it in writing so that you know what's covered or what may not be covered. There's some additional warranties that are available out there, like with AHS.
American Home Shield.
Yep, they offer an additional warranty on new construction that you can do that covers years 2 through 5. There is an additional fee to get that warranty, and that can be something that either the buyer's agent can try to negotiate into the transaction, maybe the builder will pay for it, or sometimes the buyer just decides that that's a good benefit for them. If they're new to the market, they may not be familiar with the builder and comfortable with them, so it may give them that extra sense of security that they're going to buy a great home, but then knowing that they've got a couple extra years worth of warranty on the home is beneficial to them.
Yeah, things do go bump in the night even after, as it's a new home. I mean, it's a man-made product. I mean, I always say to people, it's like the home is the only product you actually get to see that you purchase. Maybe there's some other things out there, but like a car, you don't get to see your car being built. If you saw your car being built, you might be a little scared, like what they put in my car. But but with a house, it's like it's the first thing you get to see. But people make mistakes and things happen. Settling happens, not intentional, but the earth shifts, things just happen. So I think, and having the inspection, getting the home warranty, even on a new house, is a great idea. And what is it? AHS is what, $500 or something?
I think for new construction, for the 2 through 5 years, it's a little bit more expensive.
Okay.
I think it might be closer to about $1,000.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then some builders do offer an additional warranty as well.
Yeah.
There's a third-party company called 210, the number 2-10. They have a website. You can go check them out. And that offers a 2-year systems warranty and a 10-year structural warranty. So the first year is a workmanship coverage that the builder still maintains. There's a packet that's provided to you during the closing process that you'll get to see that gives details as to what the warranty coverage is, if there's any inclusions or exclusions to the warranty, and then how to get a hold of the warranty company should there be any additional items that you need to have maintained or taken care of, in years 2 or 3. The other great thing with the 210 warranty is it is transferable. So say you buy a new construction home, a couple years from now your family relocates and there's still warranty left available. I believe that there's a small transfer fee to make that happen, but you can go ahead and transfer the remaining of that 210 warranty to the next potential buyer of your home, and they can get the remaining benefit of that warranty. Most builders in our market do offer some sort of additional warranty. I do know that the couple builders that I represent, we do include that 210 warranty as an additional buyer benefit. The builder pays for it out of his proceeds at closing, and it just gives the buyer that extra sense of security that they're buying a great house and have some extra warranty with it.
Good information, ladies.
Yeah. Any other questions out there? I know it's
Just lots of comments on great info.
okay. Yeah, we're trying to give some good info. I think let's talk money. This is like an important thing. People want to know, okay, when you buy a new house, especially a new construction house, how much money do you have to put down? That's like, a really important thing to know. Like, is it 3%, 1%, whatever. So it does vary, right, Amy, per builder. So,
and I think what Tavia's meaning is upfront. Like,
upfront,
so
yes.
if you've just written the contract and you're picking the lot, picking the house that's going to go on that lot, how much money do you have to
Right.
pay right when you go under contract. And you'll find in our market that most all builders do require some sort of upfront deposit or non-refundable construction retainer. It gives the builder a sense of security that they've got a buyer that's going to proceed with the transaction. There are occasions when something happens and the buyer's not able to complete the transaction and you're days away from closing, and then they've had some sort of tragedy or something's come up that it's just not going to work out for them to continue with the purchase, and now the builder's got to take that home back into inventory.
Right.
On occasion, the buyers pick some unique selections and the builder may have to go remove some items or repaint rooms or do things to get it back to a more marketable condition so they can resell it to some other potential buyer as what they would then be considering a spec home. So builders do require some sort of non-refundable amount that can vary depending on the price point of the home and depending on the builder's financial capacity as well.
Yeah.
Some builders require a smaller non-refundable amount, maybe say $3,000 to $7,000. Some builders require like a standard 3% deposit up front. As you get into more of your customized homes, that can be like a $20,000 non-refundable, or I've even seen on much more higher end custom homes, they could require 10 to 15% non-refundable upfront.
Yeah.
So,
So that's a very important question to ask, when you go into a model home. How much money do I have to put down if we were going to pursue this? If it's not within your budget, well, discuss that with them. Discuss your options. There may be some wiggle room. I'm not sure, but definitely that's very important. We want to help you navigate, what the home for you, but the home that fits your budget as well. A lot of agents that are sitting in the model homes, that's their goal. It's not to put you in a home that you're uncomfortable with or you can't afford. And we all are, or should be, very well versed in the other homes. And I know when I sit in a model home, she sits in a different one. We usually know who's who at the different model homes, so we all can refer you to somewhere else, if we need to do that. So. Let's see, what else is something else that's we were thinking about. It's really important. Upgrades. Upgrades is a good question too.
yes.
Yeah.
So, will all builders do upgrades?
No.
Not always.
Ask that question as well.
There are some builders that they've picked what selections are going to go into a house. So say it's a spec house, they've picked what's going to go in there, and that's all that they're going to do. Even if you come in during framing stage or sheetrock stage, they may say that they're not going to allow for any changes. So if you have desires for changes, you want to communicate that up front so that you know if that's even something that's capable of happening. Depending on the builder and their construction timelines, they may place the orders for the materials and the finishes of that home as soon as they have the building permit back. So everything may be arriving already, and sometimes a builder can take those items if it's not something you love and they can put it into another home, so they would be able to reutilize it. On occasion, they've ordered something specific for that home that won't really fit for another home, so they unfortunately wouldn't be able to allow for that to happen. It just varies. If you're even having a pre-sale home built, it can vary from one builder to the next on how much customization or changes that they're going to allow for a buyer to make. Some of the more entry-level builders may only allow for you to make like cabinet selections, maybe hard surfaces. You can choose maybe some paint colors, but they may have a very specific palette or limited selections. Usually as you get up to more of that upper end buyer, like new construction home, then you may have some more options available to you. And even like on the custom homes, basically your budget's the limit.
Yeah.
I'd say the sky's the limit, but it's really the budget's the
really.
limit.
Yeah.
So you can go out and pick lighting fixtures and every piece of the detail of the property. Mostly your limitations then become, like I said, your budget, or if there's something specific for the neighborhood CC&Rs that may prevent you from being able to do something really unique.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else that we didn't. We touched on quite a bit. I think there's a lot to know about the building process, but we just kind of wanted to give you guys an overview of from start to finish. I guess start to finish in a nutshell, we are kind of. Once you put your deposit down, select your plan, select your lot, meet with the on-site agent or the realtor, or what have you, and get the things going, get the process going. Again, it can be 4 to 5 months. And one thing that I wanted to point out too, with like a spec home, a pre-sale home, not a spec home, if you pick the lot, pick the plan out, is that I just lost my train of thought all of a sudden. This is real. This is what I was going to say, is that the builder carries the loan for you. You do not have to go out and get the loan. Well, you get your loan, through your preferred lender, but then you don't pay until the end of when it closes. Yeah.
Just another reclarification. If you could explain the difference between a spec and a pre-sale again?
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Would you
Absolutely.
want to go?
So a spec home, basically the builder has already selected the lot and the plan that's going to be built on that lot. They've already invested the money on the permits and start the construction process. So on occasion there's an opportunity on spec home that you may be able to make changes. On occasion you can't. So a spec home builder has assumed all the risk on the home between picking the lot and the plan and then building the home. And then the buyer comes in at the end of completion of construction and gets their financing and closes on the transaction.
Mm-hmm.
With a pre-sale home, that's where a buyer picks a lot, picks a plan, and then depending on the builder, they may get to make customizations to the plan. That can vary from just making your selections and personalizing the home to some builders will allow for you to move walls or make other more substantial changes to the home. So that's more of the pre-sale home where you're picking the lot and basically going through the entire process of it. The builder still carries the risk because they're doing the financing on it from the beginning till completion, and then the buyer takes out their home financing loan at the completion of construction and closes on it.
Good job. Great answer.
So I guess we'll kind of maybe sum it up and say what's kind of the process, I guess, from start to completion, for closing. What can you expect? And I guess, what does the process look like? I guess we can talk about that,
So closing process with new construction can be tricky because there's so much stuff that's happening those final few weeks. Buyers will go in one day and see that it may look like a wreck, like honest to goodness. The floors are dirty, the tile needs to be cleaned, the countertops have construction dust on it, there's plumbing that needs to get installed, light fixtures, there's so many details still to complete. Install landscape.
Right.
There's so much that happens in those last couple of weeks that the
Like, why is my
process
house
just
not done?
speeds through so fast. It's great to have an agent that understands the new construction process, and then also that they're communicating frequently with the listing agent so that they're understanding where the builder is in the construction process. Because for agents, we have a lot of coordinating that happens behind the scenes between getting hold of the lender, getting the appraiser back out. So kind of to back up a little bit, appraisers have a little bit of a process they do with new construction that's different than a standard
when you just buy a
resale
house,
home that's completed.
Right.
Most appraisers, depending on your financing type,
Sure.
will be able to go out during the construction process and they appraise the home, say when it's in framing stage or maybe sheetrock stage, but they don't get to see all the finished details to the house. So they're appraising the house based off the value of the house, and then they come out at completion once us agents get a hold of the lender, and then the lender gets a hold of that third-party company that hires the appraiser, and then the appraiser gets notification to come back out to the house to do what's called a 442, which is basically their final appraisal to make sure that toilets are in place, light fixtures are in place. Some require to see that the landscape's completely finished. So the appraiser's got to verify that the home has been completely finished to meet the terms of the contract so that the bank doesn't fund or provide the financing on a loan for a house that hasn't been completed. There's final city inspections that take place in those last couple of days where they come out, L&I make sure that all the electrical is completed that it should be, they come out and make sure that the house has been completely finished the way it should be. And then the city gives what they call a certificate of occupancy, and that's what we've got to get over to the lender and closing company as well, so
Yep.
they know that that's been provided.
So you can get your house.
Yep. And then we coordinate with title and escrow to make sure that the docs are getting there. Obviously now with that 3-day closing disclosure timeline,
That's a whole nother
that adds on
topic.
to it a little bit.
Yeah.
Totally different topic,
Right.
but kind of adds to that closing timeline. So I always say that new construction, when you think you have a closing date, make sure that there's a lot of great communication that last couple of weeks of construction, because so many things happen so quickly,
Yeah.
and you've got to make sure you've got the ducks in a row, because one little delay could delay closing for a week with new construction.
Yeah, and I wanted to touch on her when she was saying a lot of things happen at the end there. A lot of times when we're working with a client and they're like, why isn't this getting done? We'll hear clients say, you know, I don't see anybody out there for 2 weeks, you know, what's going on? And there's a lot of things we do behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know. And so we are working with the builders, and that just comes down to communication too. If you're concerned, or when you're building your home, if there's a serious concern there, absolutely bring it up. And you drive by your house and there's water shooting out, obviously we want to know.
Please.
You know, yeah, or
Soon.
flooded, yeah, or, you know, lights are on and we're seeing someone in the house, which has happened. We want to know these things. So there's a lot of things we do behind the scene in new construction. There's a lot of moving parts. And even though it's not quote unquote a custom home, we still treat it like a custom home to our clients and with the builder, because it is your home. It is custom to you, and it's made for you. So so I just wanted to, you know, reiterate that communication's key, and we try to do everything we can to let our clients know that the house will be done. We hope on time, and if it's not, we need to, you know, let you know that as well. So yeah. Any other questions? No? All right. Well, I guess we can kind of wrap it up here.
Yeah.
And thank you everybody for watching.
It's been eventful for
Yes.
sure.
Hopefully it was informational. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you.